So for this first picture, I got this from a yard sale, and you can find these pretty much anywhere. They're pretty common and not really expensive. I think I paid $4 for it. Anyways, I just want to rustic it up a little bit. No, that's not a word. I want to like just make it a little more rustic or just more my style. So I'm taking my ink chalk paint by Waverly and I'm just gonna add that chalk paint on there, kind of just dabbing it on with the paintbrush. And I'm not doing like a full coverage of this paint because I want some of that brown to show through. So I'm kind of just, again, dabbing it on there. I'm allowing that black to um, also go on to the cream color, which I will blend all those colors together, so that's okay. Next, I'm going to take my Cashew by Waverly and I'm going to start stippling on that color where the brown and the cream meet together. Just kind of like blending it to make those colors all blend together. And then I am also going to take that color and just add it to the bottom of the picture. And again, I'm not doing full coverage. I'm kind of just like dabbing it on there. I just keep adding more and more of that cashew color just in layers. And now you can see that like there's not a harsh line there anymore because I added that cashew color. I'm going to take my truffle Waverly chalk paint next, and I'm going to start adding that onto the top of the picture, the brown color of the picture. I'm just going to add it on top of like the black that I added, just in little spots. I'm not going to put a whole bunch on there, just a little bit. Next, I'm going in with the color Hazelnut by Waverly, and I'm just adding that on top of that cream color, just blending those all together just to give it a little more dimension and color. And then I'm going to just start taking that hazelnut color and kind of dragging it down or blending that paint down. Not too heavy on the paint, but just enough to add a little more dimension. And then that is the end. It was pretty easy to paint this up and get it the way I like. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching and you get some inspiration from this and want to create your own. All right, guys, thank you. And if you want to see more, just keep watching. So I'm taking these two ceramic birds that I have. I think I got them from the Target BP section. I could be wrong. They were $1, but they're probably about $3 now. So it was a while ago that I had gotten these birds. You can find little ceramic birds anywhere and just do the same thing that I'm going to do here. I'm going to take my ink chalk paint by Waverly and I'm just going to give this each bird one coat of this paint. And the reason I'm putting down the black paint is because it's going to help the gold pop when I put that on there. And then I'm just going to let them dry. And then I'm going to come in with my Rub and Buff in the Grecian Gold. And it doesn't really matter which gold you're using. I guess you don't want to use like the rose gold. I mean, you could if you want, but you want to use like more of a gold. But I'm just going to give the birds each a full coat of this Rub and Buff. And then after that's had time to dry, I'm coming in with this Metallic Accents paint by Rust-Oleum in the color Bronze Metal. And I'm going to give each of the birds a coat of this paint. This is just going to help give it that more bronze color. And you can see the difference right there between that bronze that I put on and that Grecian Gold without the bronze. After the bronze paint dried, I'm taking my Antique Wax by Waverly, and I am going to start sponging this on. And I'm just kind of dabbing it in areas and then patting it with my finger to blend it in. And this is going to help give it that kind of aged look that I'm going for. And I'm definitely adding like a heavy amount of this wax because I just want them to look like they're aged or they sat around for a while. And then after I'm done adding all that wax onto the birds, that's the end of this DIY. Really, really easy and definitely affordable. And I hope you guys like it and get some inspiration. If you want to see more, just keep watching. For this DIY, I'm taking these two bookends that were used in my son's room, but they're no longer being used, and I want to turn them into some rustic looking bookends. So I'm starting off with my electric sander, and I'm just sanding down the tops of the mountains. I want to just like round off the tips or the points of that mountain. And when I started doing that, you could kind of see through, or it created a hole, I should say, on the top of that bookend because it's hollow inside. So after I'm done sanding that, I did have to go in with my wood filler and fill that in. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going in with that wood filler, filling that in, letting it sit for a while before I go back into it. And then once that wood filler had time to dry, I'm just taking my finger sander and I'm going to sand away that paint on the mountains. And I probably could have used my electric sander, but that's okay. I love this finger sander. It is like, it works so great. I'm not even, just my favorite. I don't even know what to say. It's my favorite. And once all that paint is removed and everything's sanded down, I want to start distressing this. And all I'm doing is taking this box cutting knife and I'm kind of just cutting little holes into the wood. So nothing too big, but I do add quite a few of them. And a hammer probably would have worked pretty well, but it was late, so I had to be pretty quiet. So I just decided to use this box cutter, which was good for the sides. Like you can see, I'm distressing the sides there, and I'm again, just taking out chunks of the wood just to make it look distressed. And then once I'm happy with the amount of distressing I added to my bookends, I'm going to go in with my Antique Wax by Waverly, and I'm just going to coat this with a brush and then wipe away any of the excess. And I'm going to make sure that I get in pretty good in those little holes and areas that I had chipped away with the knife. And then when I've waxed everything, I'm just going to take that paper towel and wipe all of that excess wax away. And that is the final DIY. I really am in love with these bookends. They are such a nice addition to my entryway, and I will probably keep them for a long time. And I'm just so glad that I could reuse something that I had already had on hand at home, and I hope you guys can find some kind of inspiration from these. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And if you want to see one more DIY, then just keep watching. For this final DIY, I'm taking this finished syrup bottle and I'm just going to turn it into a kitchen decor piece. Um, I'm going to remove that lip on the jug, and I'm just taking my X-Acto knife and just cutting that off very carefully. Once that's removed, I'm taking some sandpaper and I'm just sanding the bottle. I just want to give it a little bit of texture so that the paint will adhere a little better. And I'm going to use Plaster by Waverly, and I end up giving this 3 coats of paint, and I was originally just going to keep it like that, but then I decided to do a little more to it. And next I'm going to go in with this Classic Caramel by Apple Barrel, and I'm just going to start swiping the paint on the entire jug or bottle. I'm not doing a full coverage, but I do want it a heavy amount on there. Then I'm going to start dabbing the paint on the spout and the handle, and I'm going to do even more paint on the top than I did on the bottle. And now I'm going to go in with plaster, and that Classic Caramel hasn't dried completely, so I'm just adding the plaster right on top of it. And I just want that caramel color to just barely be peeking through. So it's kind of like it was a terracotta jug or pitcher, and then it was painted white and it's faded throughout the years. That's kind of the look I was going for. And you can see that it's just kind of peeking through that color is, but it's mostly white. Now here I'm just going to take the classic caramel mixed with a little bit of plaster, and I'm going to start adding it to the bottom of the jug. And I started with a brush, but then I'm going to move to a sponge, and that helps get that texture that I'm really looking for. So the sponge is like definitely key in getting the look that I want. And then I'm just going to go back in with a little bit of that plaster on the brush and kind of just tap that brush on top of the color. And I'm just going to continue to do this, layering those colors until I get the exact look I like. You can see there, it looks like it's, aged throughout the years. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the top of the spout and the handle. I'm just going to add a little bit of that plaster on top. And then when I'm done adding all that paint on there, I am done with the DIY. And I just love this. It was practically free. I mean, I had the paint on hand and we finished that syrup bottle. So it was a nice free DIY. And the pictures and videos really don't do it justice. It looks so nice in person. I hope you guys like it too and take some inspiration from it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys all in my next video. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. All right, thanks. Bye.